Right guys, welcome back to another video, and today let's talk about some football. So today basically what we're going to be talking about is the England squad. Now, the England squad is quite funny and I'm not really a massive England guy. I don't really care about international sport, I'm going to be honest. So when I see people complaining about this England squad, it's just quite funny. But that being said, I don't really have that much to make a video on today, so I just thought I'd make a video on it because it's funny how much people actually care about this like international football stuff. It's the Nations League, lads. It doesn't matter if Harry Maguire's in the squad. I don't agree with it either, but it doesn't matter. Like, it genuinely doesn't. He ain't gonna be there in the World Cup probably if he keeps not playing, so it'll be fine. Don't you worry. Now, I'm just firstly going to talk about the England squad. I'll put a little picture on the side of me. I don't know which side it's going to be on, but it'll be there. So, basically, let's just talk about the goalkeepers first. Henderson, Pope and Ramsdale, a very good three. But then you've got to think, who are you taking out to obviously bring back Pickford? Because they are going to bring him back, obviously. He's going to be the starter for England no matter what. Who are you going to take out in that situation? In my opinion, it has to be Ramsdale. Although, does it? No. How can you take out a guy that's top of the league? What am I talking about? No, it's got to be Henderson then. It's got to be Henderson, I'm sorry. A team that's second bottom can't have an England player in there. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work for them. So, sadly, Henderson, you're not in there, lad. You're gone. Play for a better team next time. You've actually had a really good start to the season, but, well, I say that, but you've made some good saves and a few good penalty saves, but you haven't played for the right team there, sadly. Pope, in my opinion, is the best out of all of them, but he won't play. And Ramsdale is a quality keeper, to be fair. I don't know what I was thinking. Moving on to the defenders. Now, I'm just going to talk about some issues which I would have with this. Obviously, Trent needs to be in there. If he doesn't go, it's a travesty. The amount of defenders is ridiculous, so let me just say that. Ben Chilwell, probably England's best left-back, and he doesn't even play, barely, for Chelsea anymore, which is a bit of a shame. Connor Cody, I'm just going to take him out because he is not good enough. I don't care how good he is around the changing room or whatever. Who cares? This is a football team. It's not, oh, let's all have a hug round the fire and stuff like that. It's not that. And just because he's your mate, Gareth, doesn't mean you can pick him there. So I'm just actually going to scrape off Connor Cody and put Ben White there, because Ben White deservedly needs to be there. And then I'm actually going to take out Harry Maguire as well. And then I'm going to put in Lewis Dunk. I know Dunk will never get picked for England, by the way, even though he's great. Like, one of the best defenders. Well, I say that. He's all right. He's decent, and he's better than Harry Maguire and actually plays. So I put Dunk there. And then Eric Dyer, I can see it. He's had a good start to the season. He's got versatility. He can play CDM as well. He can play in a lot of different positions. Fair play for picking him. Mark Gay, he's had a good start to the season and actually had a really good season last season. So it's good to get those guys experience. I don't know whether they'll make the actual squad. Doubt it. Reece James, obviously. Luke Shaw, get him out. Get him out. I don't care how much little cover you have and the fact that he scored a goal in the Euros finals. Get him out of this squad and put Maddison in midfield. Add an extra midfielder in because Trippier can play left back as well. So let's just do that. And then John Stones, it's not a bad one. Obviously, he hasn't played enough, but he'd probably be my starter. Tomori definitely needs to be in there. One of the best English defenders in the world. Kieran Trippier, very versatile and a great leader, so he definitely needs to be in there. Kyle Walker, one of the best right-backs of all time. Of course he needs to be in there. Now, the reason I put White in, this is one that I wanted to speak about, is he has a lot of versatility as well. For example, if you were to take Luke Shaw out of this system, like, you'd still have a lot of cover at right back because obviously Ben White can actually play right back as well if he needed to. We've seen him do that for Arsenal in recent weeks and it's actually worked extremely well. So you have cover in that situation, a lot more defensive than Trent and Reece James. But he obviously isn't going to get forward enough. But when you're playing some of those big teams, maybe, it might be quite useful to have a right back if you wanted to play a 4-at-the-back system, which Gareth never will. But there you go. Let's talk about the midfield. Bellingham, obviously, one of the best. Like, in my opinion, like, probably the second best, like, young player in the world. Mason Mount, obviously. Phillips has now actually been replaced by Henderson, sadly. I think he got injured. Declan Rice, obvious. And James Ward-Prowse, I'm extremely happy that he's in there. Deservedly so. A great leader, let me say that. And if you were picking leaders, you'd want to pick Kieran Trippier, like James Ward-Prowse, Declan Rice, Mason Mount. Like, all of these guys instead of picking Connor Cody and Harry Maguire. Like, they're not good enough, and there's better leaders than them. In my opinion, Declan Rice is a better leader than Harry Maguire. Like, even Lewis Dunk is a better leader than Harry Maguire. Like, any of these players are. Like, even Jude Bellingham is a better leader than Harry Maguire. He is. Like, you see how he does in that Dortmund team. Better leader than Harry Maguire, and he actually plays football. Moving on to the attackers. I've gone for Tammy, obviously. Tammy's a good shout. I don't really know how he's doing out in Syria, but there you go. I really like Tammy. I'll come back to Jarrod Bowen because I'd take him out. Phil Foden, obvious. Grealish. It could be stated on form that other players like need to be in front of him, but there you go. Good player, obviously. Harry Kane. Not much you can say about that. Saka, obvious. A really good player, and he deserves to be here. And Tony. Fair play to Tony for getting in the England team. I respect it. I think you'll play about 5 minutes, but there you go. Yeah, it's a good 3 strikers, to be fair. I like that. The only concern I would have is taking Jarrod Bowen out for maybe Rashford. Maybe. But that's just an opinion. I don't know. There might be better wingers. But Rashford has more versatility as well. He could play through the middle if you wanted him to, for a bit of like a counter-attacking system if you're playing a massive team. I don't know, like Argentina or something. It'd be quite useful. But there you go. That's just my opinion. The ones I'm not liking, especially. So I've got 4 that I'd take out, which is Jarrod Bowen, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, and Conor Cody for me. It's just my opinion. But now we've discussed the team. Let me just talk through my starting 11 for the World Cup, based on kind of current form, but then also players which I'm going to be making an assessment on. But I'm also not going to be doing it like Gareth would, because Gareth is I was going to say idiot, but he's clearly not an idiot, but he's very boring, and that's how like the England football team always is. But if I was going for an actual good team, this is what I'd go for. I'd go Pope in goal. In my opinion, the best English goalkeeper. I'd go Reece James right back. I'd go Tomori left centre back, and I'd go John Stones right centre back. It's quite a nice one. And then left back, I'd go Ben Chilwell just because I don't really have any other option there. I was thinking actually about putting Trippier left back because he still is like pretty much the same on that left side. But Ben Chilwell just edges it over Trippier, that's not even his position. So tells you what I think of Chilwell. Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, and Mason Mount in the midfield. That is why can he not play that midfield? You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's not defensive enough, but I was just thinking Calvin Phillips is injured. Declan Rice could play that bit more defensive like we have seen him do in the past. Jude Bellingham can be defensive as well if you really need him to. And Mason Mount with that creativity and what he can actually do to like bridge the gap between midfield and attack is very useful. The front 3, Kane, Sterling, and then I've actually gone Sancho on the right. I think Sancho's form is going to turn up and he's going to get in that England squad. I don't know if he'll get in, but I think based on his form that could happen, I think he'll get in. He's performing a lot better and he looks a lot more comfortable. So I think with the coaching of Erik ten Hag and the system that Manchester United are probably going to play, I think that he could quite easily get into this England team. But these are just some predictions of mine. If you disagree, let me know in the comments why, and tell me who you would put in the England squad and the England starting 11. But if you have liked this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you everyone for watching.